two ferns. Welcome to Knitting at the Opera. We're knitting in a cozy space today. Would you like to introduce yourself and share your name and your role at the Met and your how long you've been knitting?
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm Rose Sullivan. I am a member of the Metropolitan Opera Chorus. I'm an alto 2 in the ensemble. I started in 2012 as an extra chorister. I was in Otello and Parsifal and Les Troyens. And then I was offered the contract. So I began full-time in 2013. I thought about this earlier. I think I've been knitting for 23 years. And I have knit on stage at the Met 3 times now in 3 different productions.
So they know. They're like, if a character is going to be knitting, we're going to ask Rose.
It's now, I mean, my evil plan is working, right?
It is working.
I was like, absolutely, I will knit for you on stage at any time.
I'm like so impressed and so proud.
It makes me very, very happy.
So question about the knitting during the shows. Do you cast on in the show and then like work a full project only when you're on stage, or do they make you like take it apart and you have to start over every time?
I definitely don't cast on in the show. In Cavalleria, that was, oh gosh, that was a long time ago. And they just gave us like really not the greatest black acrylic yarn. So like Rebecca Carvin, one of our former choristers and fellow knitters, I mean, we just would sit there and
just like
work on our like this is acrylic.
This is terrible.
And also black, right? So hard on the eyes.
You can't see anything.
No. But for Chenier, they kind of let me do my own thing. They had some yarn, and I was like, guys, let me just bring you something and see what you think. What I really wanted to do for Chenier was to knit a bonnet rouge for the revolutionaries, right?
Yes.
Because that is the time period. But I wasn't sure if the red would be period, so I just brought in an undyed alpaca, like worsted, and I knit a scarf.
I love that.
And I only had a single skein, so ultimately I pulled it out and I reused it for Puritani.
You knit in Puritani?
Yeah, it was a much shorter amount, but it was just at the very beginning.
Oh man, I love that. But like, so were you in the pews knitting?
Yeah.
Because during tech, I fantasized about bringing my knits into the pews.
I mean, it really helps in those long rehearsals. And in fact, the first day of Puritani, the director came to me and said, "Hi, I'm Charlie. I saw you in Chenier and you're going to be knitting in this show too." And I was like, "I'm here for it. Whatever you want."
Like, I don't know if anyone, like, I would feel so seen, like, you've seen
it's just so delightful. And you're like, yes, I can stare at the conductor and knit in stockinette, no problem. Like, I'm right here with you.
Yes, yes.
So it was really fun.
Oh, I love it when the loves come together.
It's like, guys, I'm your knitter. Just keep putting me out there.
Sign me up. If you need something, give me the sticks.
Yes.
Give me the yarns. That's nice to let you bring your own fiber, because...
Yeah, I don't know if we should let that out, but we just did.
We can cut that out.
We got it cleared. I was like, I'm just going to bring this undyed yarn.
Yeah, well, that's safe.
It is.
Like, it's cream.
It's natural.
It's natural. And especially with Puritani, that was natural and cream looking anyway.
It's what they would have had, right?
It's what they would have had.
Yeah.
So it was very on brand. So, I am organizing this knitting questions first and then singing and performing questions second. So if there's any viewers that are only interested in knitting, they'll stay tuned in the first part. And if there's viewers that like both, they will watch the whole thing.
And I might sneak some knitting into the second part, just
cause. Because
they
go together.
They really do.
So knitting questions. Who taught you to knit and when did you start?
So it was fun to prepare for this because I was thinking about it earlier and I thought, could it really have been that long ago? My first knitting teacher, is a very dear friend of mine. We were at Oberlin Conservatory together. We were roommates in Oberlin. We were roommates here in New York City. She is chosen family. So Angela taught me how to knit, and I think we decided it was probably 23 years ago. And I remember sitting in my bedroom in Washington Heights, and like she was on my left, and we picked out the yarn. I don't know what shop we went to.
Was it here though?
Yeah, it was. It was Schoolhouse Yarns. Is that right? They were in the 30s, I think. Anyway, I was terrified. I was so anxious. I was like such an anxious, like, am I doing it right? I'm not tension engaged. What does this mean? And I was terrible. But she was a great teacher, and I made, hats, and Angela was felting a lot at the time.
Ooh.
And she encouraged me to try felting because the stitch definition and therefore the gauge didn't matter. Mm-hmm. So I made a bunch of felted clog slippers that were really slippers that like only a mother could love, and my mom still has hers. They were so, when you felt, like, have you felted?
I have not, but I want to. They're cute.
They are. So I made, like, my mom's a size 7 medium, right? So these are a felted clog with a heel. And what I discovered was, like, pre-felting, the slipper was as long as like my knee to my hip bone and wider than my thighs. And then you wash it and wash it and wash it and shrink it all the way down. Mm-hmm. So I made a lot of those, and they were like not aesthetically pleasing. And my mom still has them, and she's like had to repair them, and she like sewed on additional sole patches.
That's so cute though.
Yeah. So I made a bunch of those, and then I have a feeling I took a break for a little while, and somewhere a few years later, got interested again, and it was really Ravelry and YouTube that kind of came together and helped me be able to start finding projects that were exciting to me and accessing information so that I could keep learning on my own. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I don't know about you, but I have a really hard time learning stitches or like even physical exercise from static print.
Absolutely.
So the ability to like get into a video and like pause and rewatch and different techniques, that really advanced my skills. And then I started being able to do more interesting stuff, which is what I wanted to do.
Right.
And plus Ravelry, what I love so much about that community is that is it hundreds of thousands? It's tens of thousands of patterns?
It's a lot of patterns.
And so it's not just the patterns, but it's getting to see other people's color choices and modifications. And I just felt like I learned so much. So that was like, from then on,
kind of the fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
And have you ever taken pauses since then? Like since that initial first pause?
Yeah, for sure. Oddly, I wanted to be doing a lot of knitting during COVID. You would have thought, like lots of people had. I just couldn't finish projects. I couldn't, like, my brain, it's not true. This was like my one COVID knit. This is yarn. My mom and I had taken a little weekend getaway to Rhinebeck. And all of this yarn came from Stickles, which is now gone. It was this family-owned hardware, yarn, anything and everything shop that was really beloved in the community. I bought these in February 2020 and then was locked down with them. But yeah, I did. I took quite a long break during COVID for some reason, and then got reinvigorated. So I did think it happens.
It ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
Do you like to have multiple projects at one time, or are you more of a monogamous girl?
I used to be a monogamous project girl, and now I have at least 3 sweaters, a pair of fingerless mittens, a child sweater, and like 5 others that I haven't cast on yet. So now I choose projects for a variety of reasons, and I pick them up and put them down for different reasons. I do feel like there's a way in which knitting has helped me open up into my creative self. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's just me. I do think as classical singers, we are trained with a very, like, pretty rigid, like, this is the path, this is the legacy, this is the cadenza.
There's a
right?
through line.
There,
yeah.
And it's really, I mean, we are trained to be specific within 30-second note rests of where our consonants are going to go. And so this sense of, I think it enables perfectionism, right? And we all are probably,
Absolutely.
It's probably
yeah.
nature and nurture, right?
Yeah.
So in the beginning, I think I held myself to this idea, like, I have to do this in a certain way, or I should only have one project at a time. But I realized, like, sometimes I knit for color therapy. Sometimes I knit for complexity. Sometimes I really just need to check my brain out and have something that I can knit while I'm watching subtitles.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you have a mindless knit always in grabbing reach?
Not on purpose, but I think because I now have, like, one of my sweaters is a pieced, more or less stockinette sweater that is pretty mindless. The other one that's in the queue is, like, I'm just finishing the second sleeve. Oh. So, like, it's a pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down. I've definitely had offstage sings, for example, when we did the new Forza del Destino, I was not in for an extended period of time. I was not on stage. I was in the offstage contingent. And so I had a Musselburgh hat that I would, like, keep on my wrist, and I just cast, like, I knit through my friend's Musselburgh while we'd do our entrances, and I knit some more. And
Musselburgh is perfect for that.
Musselburgh is, thank you, Isolde.
Oh, thank you, Isolde. Like, the ball fits in the project.
It's so good.
It's so good. And, like, for a special skein, you only need one.
Or socks. Like, I've definitely started socks for work where I was like, okay, as long as I do the toe at home, and then I can do this much of the foot at work, you know, and then I can turn the heel, and then I can do,
Oh, yeah, but it also helps, like, structure the day, oddly. Like, it's like, oh, well, toe was morning, and foot was the commute, and turning was on break, and now I'm to the ankle.
The only problem I've had with knitting socks at work is that I do think 2 at a time socks are so much better because it's like that way you just make sure that your gauge is right, everything matches, you haven't spaced out and done, like, too many rows of ribbing. But
This kind of circles back to Ravelry, but do you like to pre-plan your projects, or do you like to start knitting things as ideas come to you?
Probably it's maybe a mix, right? So I have, I don't know how many, 100-ish or more patterns, right? I do put things in my Ravelry queue, and I do, like, move them around. A lot of what's in the yarn trunk is planned. It's on hold, let's say. Like, this is for this sweater. This is for the Dark Academia. This is for that guy.
You have a Dark Academia?
I haven't cast on for it yet.
I love that one so much.
Yeah, that's... We can get to that later.
This.
Like, that's what the pink yarn is for. So I love project planning. And I think all knitters love project planning. It's like, it's so fun.
It's so promising.
And it's its own kind of, it's the potential, and it's the, I could have this in my wardrobe, or I don't know. So I do have, like, a long list of, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, I want to do that. And I think where the just how do I feel element comes in is things like, what kind of color do I need?
Yeah.
So I do have seasonal affect for sure. Like, I just need sunlight. And what I've realized is, after a couple of seasons of this, as soon as daylight savings hits in the fall, I want red and orange and yellow and bright pinks. And so I've actually, it's why I cast on the other shawl, because all my projects were blues and greens and grays. And I thought, I just need vibrance. I need vitamins into my eyes. So I will choose projects for that reason too.
So smart. So it's because it's the color you see in your day.
Yeah.
And you get to touch it at the same, like.
Well, you're with it. You're just with it in so many different ways. I made a shawl for one of our stage managers, for Hester. I made her a papillon. And I chose a main color that was just full of orange and yellow and a little bit of lilac. And it just, to me, has that light filtering through leaves quality. Right?
Yeah.
That just, I know what that light looks like, and you know what that light looks like. And so as I'm spending time with it, like that's what I'm aware of. Yeah. And when it's gray and endlessly gray, that can be a part of what's in my hands and in my eyes.
Oh, yeah. Do you have any favorite designers or favorite patterns?
I have a lot of Thea Colman's patterns. I haven't made anywhere near all of them, but I love her work. And I love Norah Gaughan.
Okay.
I would show you the knitted cable Sourcebook, but it's propping up our tripod. But I recommend the knitted cable Sourcebook because Norah Gaughan is just a genius. Mm-hmm. And do you have the Sourcebook?
I don't.
I mean, this woman's brain, I just can't get over. It's this incredible compendium of cable patterns, and she's taken very simple patterns and shows you how changing one or two stitches in the cable like completely changes the texture. Mm-hmm. And she starts from the simplest possible cables to work where she's really sculpting entirely different designs.
Yeah.
There's so much learning, and I just have such appreciation for her capacity to see and create this, right? Like I can take the chart and recreate it, but I don't know how you have a brain that knows how to make it happen.
Right.
I just find it so impressive and inspiring.
Yeah. It's like, how?
And I found when I was looking through the Sourcebook a lot and spending time with it, that I started to see cable patterns in architecture. Like there's a church on 86th and West End, for example, or my last apartment actually had like old stained glass in the bay windows. Oh. I mean, they were old and I used to get frost on the inside, but they were beautiful. And the leaded panels of the bay windows actually mimicked the center cable pattern of my first sweater. So you start to see it everywhere. And I actually saw Thea Colman make a similar comment on Instagram. It's like you just see where they're coming from. Mm-hmm. So at one point last year, I went to the Met Museum and there was a giant, centuries old cross with all this stonework. And a woman was standing looking at it, and she was wearing a cable sweater. And I was clocking that like the sweater was mimicking the cross, right? The cables. And she thought she was in my way. And so she apologized. I said, no, I'm really just like, I'm taking in the fact that like you are wearing these designs and we had this lovely conversation. But you start to see it everywhere, which I also love.
That's beautiful. I love that so much. Oh.
And cable knits are the reason I wanted to start knitting. Oh. I love cables. I do love color work too, but there's something about those heavily cabled Aran knits that I love that texture.
Cozy. Yeah. It's a texture. It's like you're wrapped. It's like an extra layer of just like comfort. But they're beautiful.
Yeah. And it all happens with 2 stitches that you're just combining in different orders.
It's like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It looks intricate and so complicated, and sometimes it is, but it's like at its core so simple.
Yeah.
Knitting's the best. What inspires you for starting a project?
It could be color. It could be something I want to add to my wardrobe. Mm-hmm. I've tried to be more intentional about, I think when I started knitting, do you know the Embrace Octopus sweater?
No.
That pattern's been out for a while. Mm-hmm. It's like a giant kraken, on the sweater front and back. And I was like, obviously I need to make this sweater. Now it's an all over color work I think it's even in worsted weight. So a lot of people it's like a coat.
Yes.
And she's been promising a revision in lighter weight yarn for a long time. My point is, there was a time when knits like that, I was like, that's so cool. I want an octopus sweater. And then I was like, am I really going to wear an octopus sweater for life? Like, is this?
Right.
So it could be what I want to add to my wardrobe. It could just be what kind of construction I want. So do I want the interest of a colorwork yoke and then the mindless knit of a stocking knit body?
Yeah.
And I am really, really trying to hold myself to not buying yarn and to working through the stash that's in the giant yarn trunk. So it's also a little bit about, am I working through my stash? What am I adding to my clothes? And what do I just feel like doing?
Right.
I feel like it was Karen Templar, maybe, had done this series of posts about a time when she started evaluating her yarn buying habits and how she saw her stash and what she was putting into her closet. And as I've knit longer and as I've talked to more people who are, longtime knitters, I do feel like sometimes the things that look like the most exciting knits are not actually the things that you're going to pick up again and again and again, right? So you want the wardrobe staples.
Right.
And you're customizing it for your body, which is amazing. But you also want like fun, just fun.
Yes.
So yeah, I did just do my first Stephen West shawl, and that was I do think he's a genius. So much of what he does is way far out of for my personal, what I would put on my body and like my style. But it was one of the most fun knits I've ever done.
Can we see the Stephen
Yes, you
West?
can.
Yay! I'm so excited.
So this is my Fantastitch shawl.
Also, there's Kiviot in this.
There is Kiviot. Oh, dear God. The Kiviot.
Do you want to talk about?
I should have pulled it out of the trunk. So yeah, this shawl, this is actually a pattern that I bought in 2020, and I picked out completely different colors for it, and they looked terrible together. I was trying to like stretch myself in a color way, and they did not work.
That's my big, because I'm casting on a Stephen West Marled Magic sweater, and that's my fear, is that it will be ugly. Because there's so much color, and texture.
It's tricky. There were moments where I really this is a textural adventure that is a stretch for me. But what I did was I just pulled out everything, and I spread it out all over the couch and the trunk, and I moved things around. But what wound up being special to me, among many other things, like this shawl has 2 of the colors are frogged from a sweater that I had made that I just wasn't wearing. That I loved. And when I bought those yarns, I had just gone to the Westside Community Garden Tulip Festival. Oh. So for those of you who aren't in New York, there's a community garden on the west side. It occupies like 2 blocks. They plant like 13 to 15,000 tulip bulbs every spring. Oh my gosh. And I found them quite by accident, like right in the middle of the tulip blooming. And truly, it's just extraordinary. So that year I had found a tulip that really was, when I saw this yarn, it's like yellow and purple, and I was like, this is tulip in yarn form, right? So that sweater is in here. This yarn is a Beaujolais. This has been discontinued. This was a gift from my sister. This is part of Hester's shawl. So there's little bits of Hester's shawl. And then the first year I went to the Rhinebeck Sheep and Wool Fest, we stopped at Windy Valley Muskox, and I picked up a ball of 100% Kiviot, and honestly, every time I tell this story, my palm tingles because I have never touched anything that was so soft. And I cried. I literally cried. It's so exquisite. It is. My palm is like, oh.
It's like, I remember.
I did not buy the 100% Kiviot because holy cow, it's so expensive. But I got 2 little balls of, I forget what they call it, but I think it's 10 or 15% Kiviot and 5% silk, and the remainder is extra fine merino. And that's this eggplant color. So when I was, please. There's also some Sari in here. Sari alpaca.
Right, yeah.
So, this was really an adventure. And when I was working on it, I just left it on the back of my couch, and I would kind of fall asleep on it at night and just like.
Well, I remember the updates you'd post on Facebook, and you just like see it come out from its cast on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's so beautiful.
Thank you. I do love this. This is one of my favorites. And I think what a lot of people don't realize about triangle shawls is, you start them, it starts from the center, from like 3 to 5 stitches maybe. It's this teeny tiny garter tab. And by the time I finished, this is technically a small. I think it wound up around 6'11". I'd have to check. But 500 some odd stitches.
Oh my gosh.
So I did abort the large because this is already,
huge.
and I haven't blocked it yet.
That's unblocked.
So I think it's about 8.5 feet. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so much of this to wrap around.
But oh my goodness.
But you were wrapped in like exquisite, like it just.
The drape is incredible.
It's incredible.
It feels so good.
It's incredible. You look like an artist.
Well, I mean, this gave me a lot of joy.
I'm glad. Like, it gives me I get secondhand joy from seeing it, because I'm like so proud of you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it did feel like this felt like a creative adventure, like trusting myself and my color choices. And I followed, so he gives you suggestions for, I think it's 7 colors, maybe I used 8. And he gives you suggestions for where to use what. But I quickly found I just had my own intuition about how to fit them. And there were some things after the fact that I was like, I wouldn't have done that or this. And, but it was, again, a kind of like opening into just letting myself play. And it very much was, the light had changed and I wanted the colors of the autumn. And I had actually just gone into Riverside and picked up all this assortment of leaves in like reds through yellows. And I realized after the fact that I put a lot of them into my shawl.
It's everything. It's like,
I love
also reminds me of a sunset on the Hudson.
Yeah.
Because like fall sunset on the Hudson, like.
And you can, and then I have it with me, right? And like, that's something that I don't know if non-knitters know, right? But like this shawl is...
Show the green one.
This is called the Soulace. It's spelled like soul lace, right?
Okay.
And this is another, I think this is 9.5 feet wide. It's so long.
Oh my goodness.
I don't remember the name of this colorway, but this color was dyed specifically for a knitting retreat that I did outside of Mount Rainier, where I met 2 of my very bestest knitting friends. And of course I went saying, I'm not going to buy any yarn. But we were on this beautiful retreat site that was kind of like, it's not really fair to call it a campground. It was more, I don't know. It was a retreat space.
Yeah.
And they had a labyrinth kind of off in the woods. And so one afternoon I went and I walked the labyrinth, and there was this gorgeous tree in the center, and it was this very like meditative and beautiful time. And then I got to dinner and they had this yarn there, and I was like, oh, this is the light in the forest. Like this yarn, which you're not going to see on screen, has like, there's little red orange nubs, and there's like that spruce blue, and I was like, this is the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
And so I have started to buy yarn for those reasons when I travel, because then it's always with me.
It's always that, like, that whole adventure.
It's all here.
It's
and
all
when
there.
I wrap up in it, I'm like, I'm right there with that tree, leaning, my back is against the bark, and like there's the quality of that space, and it comes with me.
Yeah. I love that. Oh, It's so good. It's so good. Does knitting inspire you as a musician?
I think they sort of cross-pollinate.
Okay.
Right? Like, we were talking a little bit about this before, but I do think that there's like a direct line from why I love music and how I am as a musician and how my brain works as a knitter. And so what I'll often say to folks is like, you know, in music you have this extraordinary, like, beautiful, aesthetic, luxurious, like sensual side to the experience, the sensory experience of listening. But you also have a language that is all its own. You have patterns and numbers and rhythms and structure and all of that underpinning, and they both coexist. And like knitting's the same.
Absolutely.
Right? So you've got like this, which is like so squishy, and the texture. I get tangible finished products in knitting, which is really different than being a singer.
It is, for like, they couldn't be more different.
And that, I mean, that is actually a very, very important thing, because when we stand on stage and we put things out, it's just gone.
It's gone.
And you don't have that sense of tangible, visible, chartable progress, which is deeply satisfying when you're like working your way through a chart and the project's growing,
and you touch it and see it and smell.
But similarly, like whether it's color work or cables, definite, you know, it's all like how many numbers of repeats, where is the pattern, and like my brain loves that too. So I think that's how they kind of inspire each other.
Amazing. Do you think it's important for artistic people to have multiple sources of creating opportunities?
I mean, I need it for me. When I was reading over these questions, I was remembering, I have a very dear friend that I met in college. She and her whole family are Romanian, and they were all trained as classical pianists. Her dad is, I don't know if he's still working as a conductor, but like conductor, composer. And she, when I met her originally, was a classical pianist. And years later, she was not playing as much, but she had moved into visual arts. And like she was doing these extraordinary large scale, like color explorations. She would shred Benjamin Moore paint cards and like sculpt these amazing pieces out of them. But I remember her saying at the time that she made it a choice in her younger life not to pursue painting as a professional discipline because she wanted it to be just for her. And I do think it's important for us to have multiple ways of being creative. Also, I think most creatives just do that anyway.
I think so.
We kind of can't stop ourselves, right?
It's kind of impulsive.
But because it's how we see the world. But, you know, one of the things that is true about being a chorister is that my creative expression as an individual is not what my job is about.
Right.
And so my job is to execute the maestro's vision for the music, the director's vision for the characters that I'm inhabiting, and not to inflect my personal interpretation. So it has become extra important for me to have a creative outlet where like my expression is primary and my creative desires are driving the bus.
Right. Because that's when music is something that's like you've made it your career, you know, like there's certainly heart and opinions and loves that like they would just feel all trapped and locked up if you had no outlet for your art.
Well, and it's also, I mean, it's something that I didn't think about because I think most classical singers are trained to expect and believe that they will be soloists. And like the life of a full-time chorister is very different. But what I think about, like one moment when this was really brought home to me, we were preparing Nico Muley's Marnie with Maestro Palumbo whenever we did Marnie. And we were rehearsing this one scene over and over and over again, and he kept saying, like, you're behind, you're behind, you're behind. And I mean, I will confess, like, anytime a note comes, I always think it's like I'm the one doing it wrong, right?
Same.
No matter what.
Oh my gosh, it's the worst.
It's
feeling.
the worst. But I was thinking, like, I'm sure I'm not behind. I'm sure I'm not. And then he said to the whole group, the thing is, you have to just deliver this text like an instrumentalist. You really can't inflect. You have to, like, as an ensemble, you just have to deliver the text like you're an instrument.
Yeah.
And the next time we did it, I realized that I was micro-inflecting my text. Because of course we do. We're humans. It's like these shades of time. It's fractions of a second, right?
Yeah.
But my intuitive, dramatic, musical, whatever, wanted to lean in a way that was actually behind. And it was so small and also so second nature that I did need to have my attention called to it. But that is the level of detail at which we work.
It's the nuance, of professional musicianship. Yeah.
So saying, today I'm going to cast on pretty colors, or like, today I want to do this. It's really my creative outlet.
Absolutely. Does your knitting focus stay consistent, or do you find there are ties when you're knitting less and creating different kinds of art?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think we talked about that a little. I do feel like there's ebb and flow. Right now, I'm doing kind of a lot more writing and like processing for some content that I kind of want to create. So I've been doing more of that necessarily than like lots and lots of knitting. But yeah, I think there's ebb and flow.
Amazing.
I hope and pray there will always be knitting. Knitting will be forever.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah.
So you do writing, and is there any other kind of artistic medium that you like to play in?
Those are the two for right now. I mean, I sing ludicrous improvised musical things to my sister. We write like silly parody lyrics together all the time. So like, yes, I do that also.
I love that. And then, do you have a knitting community? And if yes, how often do you see each other or knit together?
So I have had some knitting like meetup friends in the past. The one that operated before COVID, like everybody sort of dispersed. Okay. I have two very, very dear friends that I made on that retreat. And so we text definitely multiple times a week, if not daily. And when one of us is project planning or working through some stuff or sending updates, there's like a lot of back and forth, coupon codes and this and that. And so, yes, Cheryl and Mandy have both become like, we talk all the time. And we did a knitting retreat to Rhinebeck together a couple, I guess two falls ago, and we all made versions of, this is Sari Nordlund's Lumme pullover.
I love
And we did like radically different color combos, which was really fun.
I've never seen it in person.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. What was also interesting is we all sort of struggled at the same part in the chart. So there's got to be something about that particular section.
Okay.
But so again, just in terms of place, the main color of this sweater is a 50/50 Shetland alpaca that I bought when I was in Scotland. And it was my last day in Scotland. I went to this tiny town called North Berwick, and I wandered into the yarn shop. And I had the loveliest interaction there. I think it's Chandler's of North Berwick. The shop owner had just come from a funeral.
Okay.
And so we were just chatting. She was wearing this gorgeous sweater, which, please forgive me if I'm mispronouncing it, but I think the technique is called Sankar. So it's a Scottish color work technique that uses only natural undyed yarns. So it's like all, just the natural colors of the sheep. And so I got to learn all about this technique and the history of the Scottish wool industry. And anyway, this is a really beautiful 50/50 Shetland alpaca that was hand dyed with tea. And again, I put it on, and that's what I think about.
That's amazing. It's such a gorgeous base color.
Isn't it lovely?
It's
this like gorgeous oatmeal.
I love it so much.
This sweater and my Ayami, both of the sleeves came out a little short. Like I thought they were going to block out longer. And I like a really long cuff.
Okay.
So I have been thinking I need to pick out the cuffs and like just extend them.
Yeah.
If I ever actually do that.
Mini project.
But yeah.
I love it. That's a beautiful sweater.
Thank you. I love this sweater. And it was fun to make them together. We have a photo of the three of us in our like very different colorways and like we also, our Airbnb had this gigantic dining room table for, I don't know, let's say 20. Probably wasn't that much.
Oh my goodness.
But believe me when I tell you it was full of yarn. Cheryl brought all of her show and tell sweaters and we had all the things that we bought. I mean, it was just, our table was just yarn.
That's a feast.
It was amazing.
Oh, that is a good, I mean, every table should be
full of that much yarn.
Absolutely. Oh, I love it. So we're going to cut to a yarn stash tour. We're going to see the inside of a trunk and
not bodies, just yarn.
Just yarn. And we're gonna see some fun and beautiful and soft squishy things. Here we are with the yarn stash.
Wait, let's just hug things.
I'll hug things and see. I'm gonna back up. How visually pleasing. Everything matches from pant to scarf to yarn in hand to the sweaters behind us.
I mean, it is a little bit how I roll.
I love this.
So since we talked about Dark Academia, can we start the yarn stash tour with this?
Please, yes.
This is Murky Depths Deep Sock, and this color is called Telltale Heart. And as I said earlier, like I really try not to buy more yarn, but like it's almost impossible.
Yeah.
So I saw this come up and I was like, dear mom, this is what you're buying me for Christmas. XO me. But this is what I'm planning for my contrast color for Dark Academia with I'm going to test it out with this like medium charcoal Cloudborne fingering weight. So main color. But Telltale Heart was a story that we read, I think, in 8th grade. And I have a memory of being in class that day and like we had to read out loud in class. And I don't remember which portion of the story that I read, but I do remember that it was the first time my reading of something ever made the class like it was sort of in my early experience of impacting people dramatically. And so I have a special memory of that story and Poe, and I went through this period where like I read all the Edgar Allan Poe. So to have Telltale Heart be the contrast for my Dark Academia sweater makes my little heart like
it's a full
pitter
circle.
patter with like nerdy glee. Okay, the trunk is sort of organized. There's like fingering weight, DK, worsted. I know a lot of knitters talk about not liking to swatch, but I actually love to swatch. And I sometimes travel with my swatches because I feel like it's a little bit of the project with you that hasn't happened yet. This project hasn't happened. Oh, this project hasn't happened yet. But this is the bee's knees that I'm working on now. So speaking of Thea Colman, this is one of her cardigans. This is one of my works in process. I started this 2 years ago and I was flying along. Here, I'll hold it up. It's this gorgeous cable knit. There's a cable running up along the edges of the cardigan. It's in this gorgeous seat stitch. When you finish it, it has a shawl collar and then the cable wraps around, right? So I started this 2 years ago and I was flying along with it, and then I made an error in my seed stitch and I tried to live with it and I couldn't. And so this was a time when knitting got stalled because I knew I had a lot to frog. I mean, I was much further along than this. And I think it was like 6 to 9 months before I was like, okay, I'm gonna rip it all out and do it all over.
But I mean, it was worth it.
It was worth it. So this is one where I pick it up and put it down. But I love the texture of the cables. This black wash blue is called Deep Harbor.
It's beautiful.
And this is Winterberries, which is not far from where I grew up at Yarn Shop in Northwest New Jersey. So yeah, this is in progress, and these are the swatches. Anyway, I love to swatch, and I love to take them with me because sometimes there's always more projects that I want to cast on than I can work.
Yeah.
They have a little bit of a prayer shawl quality, I think, right?
They do.
You just keep them around.
Yeah.
Oh, this is what's left of the Lumme pullover that we just saw, my Shetland alpaca.
Oh.
This is a sweater quantity of a small batch from Colorado that I have planned for something really cabled. So again, just like undyed, but it's so, God, the feeling of it is so lovely.
God, it's squishy.
So this is June Grass batch 2 from Fancy Tiger, and it is, I think it's Corriedale, Rambouillet. Yeah.
Amazing. It's beautiful. It really looks good with your skin tone.
Oh, thank you. There was a time when I wasn't sure about neutrals. I don't know.
It looks very nice, especially against the gem tone contrast.
Yeah, I do feel like there is a point in winter where the dark colors need to yield to a lighter tone because we've been in gray for so long. What else can I show you? This was my Rhinebeck haul, but I also wasn't going to buy yarn. I wanted the perfect red, and I walked all over Rhinebeck, and this is what I settled on. This is Utopia's BFL BFF in Scarlet.
Beautiful.
I started a cider pullover in this, and I've never seen such plump cables. Unfortunately, I cast on probably a larger size than I needed. And when I tried it on, I thought I look like a cask of ale. Like I literally look like a barrel. And
no.
Yeah. And oh my God, that was a sweater that I just kept making mistakes on again and again and again. You know when you have those? Like,
yes.
Whatever is going on in your life, you just keep screwing it up.
Yep.
And I can't tell you, I dropped down like 15, 20 rows to repair the cables, and I figured out how to do it. But anyway, so this is now going to become something else.
Love.
What else can I show you? Yes, there is a lot of pink. This is from a beautiful vendor who is based out of Maine. Also, this is Test Designer Yarns.
Ooh.
That was also a Rhinebeck purchase. This used to be a skirt.
Ooh, so are you frogging this one?
It's already in the process of being frogged.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, so this was a skirt. It was really cute. It was like this really body conscious little ruffle at the bottom. The challenge with frogging this is that this pattern had a back lace up panel with cute little
X's.
Thread the ribbons through. So pulling that out has been a bear.
Yeah.
But I have already started to use that for my hop sweater.
Oh.
So this is currently in progress too. I just have the second sleeve to finish.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
I love
This is an Isabel Kraemer. And this was a pattern. One of the things that I learned both at Rhinebeck and my retreat was the way that something looks in person is so different than it looks on screen. And when you start to see a pattern on different bodies and you know it works on all of the bodies, you're like, that's a good pattern. That designer got it. So this was a pattern that, like, yes, I had seen it before, but I saw several at Rhinebeck and I was like, that's a great sweater. She is a designer. Isabel Kraemer is a designer who her pattern writing and I think it's also probably her body shape is close to my body shape, like torso length and all that just matches up. So I find that I like a lot of her stuff.
I love that. That purple is like the perfect choice for that.
It's got a little bit of silk, and this is a cascade that I loved that was discontinued. I made a skirt out of this. It was one of my... I made it as an extra chorister in Othello because it was during Hurricane Sandy. And as an extra chorister in Othello, we were not in Act 2, so I had a long break. And it's this cute little pleated skirt that you knit as a wraparound. So between the Hurricane and Othello, I knit the skirt. But yeah, this is great too. This color changes in the light. So depending on where you are, it can look more purple or look like really electric blue. What else can I show you? There's endless bags of fingering weight yarn. I try to have them loosely grouped by color. This is a Christmas stocking that I'm never going to finish, so I just keep ripping it out. It's the cutest stocking, but it is an example of I was knitting it on bamboo double points, and there was so much drag.
Oh, yeah.
That it was a drag.
It was a drag.
And I was like, this is way too much of a fight. This is another British yarn. I have, as I've gone on in knitting, started to move away from superwash and more into just natural, less processed.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the fun, to experiment with fibers and textures. I know a lot of people are into mohair and all of that. I have not done a lot of like carrying the mohair in for effect. But part of that is that I am trying to use what's in this trunk.
Absolutely.
Because I think I have at least 10 sweater quantities plus. And so what I've told myself is I have to finish like 5 sweaters before I can buy any more yarn. I've got more over here. This is this lovely, lovely, lovely undyed alpaca. This was a gift from a dear friend. My friend Mary Hall gave this to me, and it had belonged to her mom, and her mom has since passed. So this feels especially precious. And I have a sweater plan for this too. One of the things that I love about knitting and making in general is the way it connects us to lineage and legacy and ancestry. And in particular, how if you get a group of knitters or makers and you sit them all around the table, you'll inevitably start hearing about like, I've never seen that cast on. Where did you learn that? My Ukrainian grandma. The lady who used to run the sewing shop. My great aunt taught me. And then you start hearing the stories of these women. And that is just so profound to me that we are carrying this with us as we work. I think that we have lost so much of that in this culture because we consume ready-to-made everything. Ready.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so knitting has also really given me an appreciation of the work of unseen hands, right? And so when I think about this yarn and the sweater that I'm going to make with it, I know that Mary Hall is with me, and I know that her mom is with me, you know, and her mom meant so much to her.
Oh, yeah.
So that it just feels like a continuation of lineage and love in that way.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. One beautiful cedar trunk.
Full of so much yarn.
Oh, so much yarn. Well, but also, to be fair, you have hard things in here.
I do.
I have a winder.
So this is my Swift and my ball winder, which is tucked away in my Lululemon bag.
Yes.
So yes, it was a while. I used to just wind my yarn in the back of a chair. I have even wound my yarn around my feet. Is this it? Wait. Oh no, wait. Where did I put Scary Blue Tangle? Somewhere in here is what your previous guest, Mike Giambaroni, has christened Scary Blue Tangle.
Scary Blue Tangle.
It is this gorgeous Matisse blue fingering weight Malabrigo. I do not know what happened when I was winding it. but it's like the Yarn Monsters came out, and it is a giant, horrible mess. And Mike, being the most wonderful friend, has actually come over, and we've had, knitting dates, hangout dates, and he's like, I'll work on Scary Blue Tangle for you. And he'll sit there, and he has actually like pulled it apart and wound some. He's like, you just need to work on it a little bit at a time.
You're like, I have like 10 sweaters to knit, sir.
Mike, I'm never, how did Scary Blue Tangle happen? So,
he's hiding in there, waiting.
He is. It is funny because my two very dear knitting friends both are not New Yorkers. They both live in houses. I mean, one of them has yarn not only in a dedicated room in her house, but also in their storage space.
Love
so
this
she
for
literally
her.
will like go shopping in their storage space.
Oh, the dream.
And the two of them are like, oh my God, you have so much restraint. And I was like, ladies, you do not understand. I have one closet.
One closet.
And like, it doesn't fit everything. So I'm trying to work through the trunk. It will all go back in there, mostly. It won't look like a yarn bomb went off once I put it all back. I try to keep them organized by color and weight, and I think like most knitters, I mean, do you do this? Do you earmark yarn in your stash for things?
Oh, yes.
Going forward?
They're all like everything has a purpose.
Yeah. Maybe someday when I have more space, I'm very conscious of the fact that I've just revealed the giant explosion of yarn chest to the internet.
Oh, yeah,
but, maybe other people will feel seen.
Oh, people are gonna feel seen for sure. You're not alone. We all have our yarns stored and loved in different ways.
And 500 square feet.
All you have is 500 square feet.
You gotta make it work.
Gotta make it work somehow, and this works.
I love knowing it's in here.
And it's closed. It's easy to access. You just flip the lid up.
Table.
It's also a coffee table. In New York, things must have at least 2 or 3 functions.
I mean, otherwise,
why have it?
Why?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my yarn stash. Swatches galore.
Swatches.
Projects in process.
Will you make something with all the swatches someday?
I've wondered about it. They're all, of course, not. I mean, am I actually doing 4x4 inches? Right. No. Do I often forget to write down what needle size it was? Yes. Do I have to re-knit them over and over again? Yes. Does anybody actually take like really good knitting notes that they can just pick up and put down and pick up again? Like, I always have the best of intentions, but maybe I'll make something from the swatches. Sometimes I just leave them out or use them as coasters.
They're great coaster.
It's perfect. So the deep purple is also Murky Depths Deep Sock. I think it's called Girl Gone Wild. And I loved that color, and I was like, I have to have it. It's this guy.
Oh, yes.
So when I started this, I got through, I don't know, somewhere up in here, and the other colorway, which is variegated throughout, had purple in there, and it was getting really muddy.
Oh.
And so I actually frogged it, and I did 2 different versions with 2 other contrast colors that I didn't like because I really wanted this Murky Depths. And so what I wound up doing is that every time I came to the purple in the Earth Unique, I cut it out. So I still have a bag of all these little yarn bits, but I was like, this needs high contrast. Like, it has to pop. I just sort of forced that contrast, but I love it. It's one of my favorite things. And it was really fun to do one for Hester because it's a completely different colorway. I must have sized down my needles for this, and so hers also is a lot bigger and has a different drape. And once again, similarly, like there were certain colorways that I didn't, or certain elements of the variegated yarn that I didn't love, and so I just excised those and sort of forced the changes.
Right.
But this pattern, again, is just such genius because the yarn really does all the work. It's endless counting, but I love it.